Hi Aquarius, and welcome to your monthly love predictions reading. We're going to start your reading by pulling 3 oracle cards, which will tell us the 3 main themes you can expect to experience in love for the month ahead. This reading is looking at mid-September to mid-October, focusing on love specifically. So if you want a more general predictions reading, I do my monthly predictions readings at the start of every month, or at the end of every month, should I say, for the month ahead. So September is live if you haven't seen it yet. Also, to those who are returning, I'm going to be doing this reading a little bit differently. We're going to pull our 3 themes as usual and clarify with tarot and get advice, but we're also going to ask about the main person that you'll be dealing with in love as well, whether they're an established person, an old person, or whether they're a non-established person, a new person. We're going to have a look at that at the end as well. So Spirit, what are the 3 main themes in love for Aquarius in the month ahead? What are the 3 main themes in love for Aquarius in the month ahead? Okay, let's take these cards. We'll put these 2 back. So your first theme is Cardinal in the upright position. You also have the 12th house and the 4th house. So 2 houses and 1... what do you even call that? It's not a sign. It's like the signs, I don't even know, traits, I guess. This is interesting for you, though. It's very weird because you're not here. Like, this is cardinal, this is cardinal, this is mutable. It's very interesting. I think it could be a challenging month in love for you, only because I see you trying to be a lot more structured and strict and rigid than what you would prefer. I see you taking action. I see you being someone who doesn't want to deal with ifs, maybes, could be's. I see you being in more of a doer role, like trying to be like the main one who's kind of making this work. But at the same time, I could see how for a lot of you, if you're single and you're not really interested in anyone in specific, you're just focusing on yourself really then. You're focusing on healing, you're focusing on doing what is best for you. And for some of you, you're even focusing on your children. So let's get into it. Let's have a look at Cardinal first. Cardinal is very much like a doer. Cardinal energy is very much about kind of, if you want something, you got to go out and make it happen for yourself, whether that's about doing it right here, right now, or coming up with a plan and following that plan. It just feels like you're in a I can and I will energy. It's a very masculine energy. Clarify Cardinal for Aquarius, Spirit. What can they expect in the month ahead with this Cardinal theme? We have Justice reversed. Okay. What can Aquarius expect with this Cardinal energy? Okay. We also have the Ace of Swords reversed. One more card. What can Aquarius expect? We have the World reversed. And I do associate the World with Aquarius only because it's a Saturn energy. We have the Page of Pentacles at the back of the deck. This theme is interesting because it has a lot to do with not feeling like things are where they should be. Feeling like things are out of balance, or that you've been dealt the rough end of the justice scale, trying to make things more balanced for yourself. I do see some of you being in a position in which it's been very hard to kind of get things going in the direction that you want it to. You're finding it hard to live up to expectations or to a certain quality of standard. I also think that you're having a hard time kind of overcoming some sort of challenge here. And it is a reflection of how much pressure you're putting on yourself. There's a strong feeling of it needs to be perfect. It needs to be perfect. So I could see how other things are impacting your love life in the month ahead. It could have to do with your work. It could have to do with where your head is at, feeling like you're not ready to start something right now, or feeling like you're having a hard time getting things wrapped up in the right way, culminating and progressing on to the next thing. You just kind of are feeling like you're in a situation where you've run out of like potential, or you've run out of steam. But it's more that, like, where do we take it from here? I feel like you're out of your depths a little bit in this theme. You're feeling like, well, what the heck am I supposed to do? And I could see how, for that reason, the action that you are taking is feeling like it's getting you nowhere. I do think that this is an unfair situation because you don't have enough information to be able to progress, but you're also focusing only on the challenges. It also feels like you're stuck in some sort of karmic cycle for some of you. It doesn't have to be a very difficult karmic cycle, but it is challenging because it's really kind of holding us back to a certain degree. And the Ace of Swords is saying that you're kind of over-analyzing and over-processing information related to what you could do in this situation instead of taking that information and using it as an idea to be able to act upon. I think that it's highly likely that what you're going to do is something that you've already tried before or something that you've already done before, and you're going to try it again and you're going to try to see if it works differently this time. What is the advice in that situation for Aquarius? What is the advice? We have the nectar. So that's interesting. The nectar is a very sweet feminine energy, and it is an energy that is missing. We have the heart at the back of the deck and shadow fell on the ground. So it does seem like there's feminine energy missing over here. Compassion, kindness, patience, and nurturing. Your advice is to be patient with the situation, but to also be more compassionately invested in the outcome. I almost feel like y'all may need to kind of take a softer approach here. Cardinal is coming on really strong, and I do think that the situation may be unnecessarily challenging for you. The way out could be a lot easier than you're making it out to be, not in a mental way, but in an expectations way. You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself here to kind of come out and perform and have this perfectionist sort of outcome, and I just don't think it's going to come out that way. I feel like your advice with the nectar is to just stop and smell the roses and to enjoy the process and to not kind of get so wrapped up in the rigidity of it to the point where you miss the journey. It's like you're so focused on the destination, you've lost your purpose here. And nectar is really asking for you to soften and receive the journey as part of the enjoyment, as part of the pleasure. It does feel like you need to bring pleasure back into the situation. So it's a very interesting first theme, but we got to keep moving forward. Let's see what's going on with the 12th house next. This theme is all about endings. For you especially, it feels like you're trying to culminate and wrap something up. It also feels like you may need to be more aware of what this means to you, because I almost feel like you need to be patient with yourself and how this feels. I do think that something is hitting you in your feels in the month ahead a lot more than you expected. You didn't think that you would get this emotional about it, but you are. And that emotion may be coming out in frustration. You may be kind of hyper-fixated on something or someone. But I do think that there is actually a deeper feeling there that needs to be honored and explored. So what is going on with this 12th house for Aquarius in the month ahead? We have the Tower reversed. You're still picking up the rubbles from something. That's interesting. I feel like the Magician reversed next. What is going on with this 12th house energy for Aquarius, please, Spirit? We have Judgment as well, which is a cicada in this deck. And at the back, we have the Nine of Cups reversed. So I'm hearing Bittersweet Symphony by The Verve. I think that this theme for you has a lot to do with making sure that you end things on good terms. So I'm seeing a messy situation in which you are trying to kind of close one door and open another. And this doesn't mean that a relationship is ending. It just means that a chapter of your life is changing. We have to close that door and open another. And you have to honor your feelings throughout this process. It is impacting you more than you realize. Maybe because there is another process involved, like you're moving house, for example, and you're just so wrapped up in moving that you've forgotten that this is a huge shift in your emotional being as well. But I see with the Tower reversed, it's hitting us a lot more than we expected. For some reason, we thought we were going to be better. We thought we would process this better. We thought we would feel better. But it is kind of hitting us with residual effects. I almost see that this could have happened in a previous month, and the after effect is only hitting you now. It's like it's left a taste in your mouth and you're having to kind of deal with the aftertaste. I do think that as you move forward, you're going to be a little bit like, well, where do we rebuild from here? What is next? How do I create stability and foundation from here? It feels like even though this is a love theme, it's impacting your other relationships as well, and it's impacting your sense of emotional stability. With the Magician reversed, I do think that more time needs to be spent understanding how this is impacting how we treat others, because I could almost see how this is either making you withdraw and become more introverted, or this is impacting your confidence and your communication with other people. I could also see how some of you are just really unsure of where to from here. You're not feeling confident in your ability to create something out of this sense of change and destruction. But Judgment is saying it will be renewed. There is a sense of a rebirth here, a renewal of some sort. When one door closes, another door opens. So simply honor your feelings through this transition. Allow this to change. Allow one thing to end so that something else can start. And give yourself time to process how this is all making you feel. What is the advice here with the 12th house? We have the Heart. Okay, so we knew that was going to come out because it did show itself before. But in this theme, it does feel like these two are kind of connected. And I think that the Heart as advice is really encouraging you to just honor your feelings, sweets. I can't say it enough. Honor your feelings. Give yourself space to feel. And trust that healing is a non-linear process. This could have happened a month ago, but it's only really hitting you now for some reason. What is going on with this 4th house now? Your third theme, the 4th house, it can be a lot about like nurturing and staying more in like a nest environment, which could include you being very protective over your loved ones, wanting to kind of keep close to your family, which could include your parents or your siblings. Usually it's more like parents and children. I just see you nesting. I feel like your love life is in a gestational period almost, where it's trying to kind of just cocoon you and help you kind of stay safe until you know what you're doing next. What is going on with this 4th house energy for Aquarius? Okay. So on the ground, we have the Ace of Swords. So you got the Ace of Swords twice now. And weirdly enough, we also have the Tower at the back of the deck, but I'm going to keep shuffling. What is this 4th house energy about for Aquarius? We have the Page of Wands reversed. What is this 4th house energy about for Aquarius when it comes to their love life? We're going to take this card, the 8 of Swords. Interesting. At the back of the deck, we have the 10 of Wands. So I do feel like you're carrying a heavy sense of responsibility. Some of you guys are carers, or you're in a position in which you're providing for somebody else. You have dependents. I just think that you're carrying a lot of responsibility. It feels like when it comes to love, you are needing to just focus on deloading, de-stressing, and not taking on too much right now. A major theme here is burnout for you and putting too much weight on your shoulders to be able to perform to peak capacity over an extended period of time. I do feel like you're going to get a new idea over here, a new opportunity to take action in a new way or to communicate something. I think this Ace of Swords is encouraging you to be more expressive and communicative, just like this Page of Wands. This Page of Wands is saying that your desires aren't being met. It feels like you're in rehibernation mode. This card has a baby on it, and this baby's still in the womb. I think you got to be gentle with yourself. I think that you really need to just kind of take it easy. Stay close to home, recharge, stay close to your loved ones. Don't isolate unhealthily. Keep communication open. And I just feel like with this 8 of Swords, you're almost just kind of cutting yourself off from people. A theme here is you just kind of staying in your bubble and not really accepting many invitations out, not really like exploring things that used to excite you, and just finding it hard to kind of connect with people. I see you getting in your little Aquarius spaceship and just kind of ignoring certain things for a little while because it's just too overwhelming. What is your advice though with this 4th house energy? What is Aquarius's advice with this 4th house energy, Spirit? This is interesting. We have the King coming out. I know I say that a lot. Everything's interesting to me when I read. But the king as advice, it's a number 12 again. This feeling of endings, wrapping things up, appreciating how this is all making you feel and honoring those feelings. They are valid and they deserve time to process. Your advice with this fourth house energy, though, is to stand back in your power. You are the creator of your life, the creator of your destiny in this life. And you need to give yourself enough room to kind of see what it is that you can do to bring back that zest. I feel like the king is talking about getting support from somebody else as well for those who feel really disempowered in a situation. But I think that you don't have to be. The fourth house is all about nurturing and kind of being surrounded by love and in a nest. You should have support. You shouldn't feel like you're completely isolated like this 8 of Swords in a helpless, hopeless situation. Don't be afraid to get advice from people who, you know, have merits to prove that they know what they're talking about. It's that classic case of if you wouldn't walk a day in their life, why would you ask them advice? You know, but for someone who knows what they're doing and for someone who you maybe admire or look up to, by all means, stay connected and ask for advice. This king is about maintaining a sense of regality, though, knowing your purpose, but also knowing your worth. You are this archetype of success with this king, and your advice is to embody that, especially when you feel at your lowest point where you feel isolated and hopeless and helpless. No, you're not. You're actually a king, and you actually have a lot to offer, and you have a lot to gain as well. So let's check in on your love interest now, shall we? For those who have an established person or connection, we're going to have a look at the old person first before we have a look at anyone new. So how is the old established person feeling about Aquarius in the month ahead? This is interesting. We have the riddle. So this person is feeling a little confused. They're trying to figure you out. You're definitely a bit of an enigma to your love interest. The person who, for those who are in a relationship or they've been dealing with someone for a long time, this person is really just trying to kind of figure out what's going on in your head. You're definitely keeping your cards close to your chest, and they're having a hard time reading the situation. How is this person feeling about Aquarius in the month ahead? How is the established person feeling? This could be... yeah, we have rage. For some of you, this could be an ex if they're not in a relationship with you. This person is definitely keeping a close eye on you. They are worried about you. This rage card is the Army of Me song by Bjork. So pause it if you want to read the lyrics. It feels like this person is worried, but they're not wanting to kind of enable your behavior because they are seeing you as kind of a martyr. You're making yourself out to be the victim in this situation. And I'm not saying that they don't sympathize, but this card is saying, I won't sympathize anymore. So they're trying not to enable whatever kind of victim mentality you have. This person is trying to just kind of give you space to sort things out, but they're also trying to figure out, like, how bad is it? Like, do they really need my support? I see this person giving you space, and I even see them getting frustrated at times. This is really, like, it is a bit of a lack of empathy situation here. But that could be the connection that you have with your partner, especially if you're an Aquarius or a Venus in Aquarius. You might be someone who's like, I don't need you to take care of me. But it's like this person's just like, well, stand up then. Like, you've got to manage. I won't sympathize anymore. You told me you don't want me to take care of you. Well, if you complain once more, like, you'll meet an army of me. It's very interesting. They're trying to figure out the best way to help you through this, I feel. But for those where this is an ex, I just think that this person is like, what is going on with them? Like, their energy is rough, but I'm not going to like sit there and baby them. I'm not going to run back to them. You definitely, this old person, this established person in your life, they are keeping a close eye on you, but it feels like a tough love situation. What is the advice here for Aquarius with this established person? So the two cards I have for you are Descendant and Full Moon. So that's interesting. As advice, Spirit is saying this situation is very much about being aware of your past and maybe needing to kind of revisit who you used to be and how you used to interact in order to get a clue on how to deal with this situation with them. I do think that there's something in your past that is helpful with the Descendant coming out. You need to kind of acknowledge where you've come from, or how you used to be, maybe what used to make you happy, or what you used to do when you were in a similar situation, in order to dig yourself out of this. With the full moon here, you really need to honor your feelings. Your feelings are high for a reason. You have to be aware of what your emotions are doing and how they are kind of dictating and controlling your headspace and your actions, because I also feel with the full moon that it's time to release something with this person as well. We need to kind of let go of something that has been controlling the way that we act and the way that we feel. So that's what's going on with the established person in your life. Let's move forward to those who are dealing with a new person or someone who isn't very established. How is that new person feeling about Aquarius in the month ahead, please, Spirit? They see you as someone who's very healing. Oh, that's interesting. We have the shadow coming out reversed. So whoever it is, new, old, they are seeing you go through something, and they're trying to kind of give you space to go through it, but they're also finding it hard to kind of show that they care. How does this person feel about Aquarius in the month ahead, this new person? Yeah. We have I feel. So the new person is really trying to be very empathetic and understanding, but they're trying to give you space to sort through whatever's arising for you. With the shadow reversed, I see this person feeling somewhat responsible for how you feel. And I think it's because they don't really know you well enough yet. So they're assuming that if you are withdrawn or if you are upset, it's because of them. And I think you need to be a bit clearer with this person about the fact that you just need your space to go through whatever it is that you're going through. This person is taking it personally. They feel very passionate about you. This new person is definitely in a more development stage. So I would be surprised if this was more than a crush or you two just sort of getting to know each other. With sacral chakra coming out, this person is eager to kind of spend more time and energy with you. But they are also trying to be respectful of the fact that you seem to be going through something with the shadow. They're not trying to be a rebound, but they are also really trying to keep you interested. So whatever it is that you're going through, Aquarius, this new person is optimistic about having growth with you. They're also feeling very sexually attracted to you, but I think that they're aware of the fact that your heart isn't fully with them. You're still processing something else and you're still going through something else. This person is just trying to give you space to go through whatever it is that you're going through, and hoping that once you are in a little bit of a better place, you'll be able to focus more on them. This person feels very intuitively connected to you though, and they may even be drawing a lot of conclusions. I don't think they know you that well, but for some reason they think they do. They think they have you kind of pegged. Whereas this person from your past is like, I don't know shit. Like, Aquarius is a huge enigma to me. And this new person's like, I know them. They just need space. They just need space and then we can grow together. Like, it's very weird. So what is the advice here for Aquarius when dealing with the new person? And if you don't have a new person, then you obviously just ignore this part. You just choose to accept what resonates. You don't have to force anything to fit. If you don't have an old person, an established person, then obviously the new one is what you would focus on more. What is the advice here? We have Libra. Your advice is to actually give this a fair chance, balancing this out and trying to make sure that this partnership is reciprocal. This doesn't mean do the most. This just means make sure that you're pulling your weight, because I do see that you're dealing with someone here who is willing to put in the effort, but they need to know that you're also going to reciprocate. Your advice is definitely to work on this partnership and to see it as a partnership. It's not about I do this, you do that. It's about working together, having the same goals and just understanding, being on the same page. I feel Libra is talking more about kind of bringing this together through communication though. You can't just assume that the two of you are on the same page and that you want the same things and that they can read your mind. Make sure you have those important conversations and make sure it is a conversation. It's not just you isolating and building up a huge inner dialogue of what you want to say and then reciting it like a monologue. Make it a conversation. Involve the other person and make sure that it's fair. Whatever it is that you want, they want, be reciprocal, be balanced, be harmonious, and treat it like a partnership. That is the best advice for this new person at this stage. And then we'll see what happens next month. You know, we'll see what happens by Libra season, Scorpio season. But for now, treat it like a partnership, be balanced, and be fair. That's what I'm seeing for you, Aquarius, when it comes to love for the month ahead. I hope this was helpful and informative. You may have messages in your moon or Venus sign as well. I apologize for my throat. It was very gross. I could hear it. I hope you couldn't hear it. But if you did, I hope you sleep well after that. And I apologize for those who are eating. That was probably not the best thing to hear. I appreciate you for being here, Aquarius. I wish you a prosperous, abundant month ahead. And I hope to connect with you in another video.